Well, here we go. Look, nobody's more dialed in on the Cincinnati Bengals than our main man, Zim WhoDey. Zim, you have been pretty much nonstop on Twitter, going back and forth with some of the fans out there. Before we get to that part of it, though, hey, lay it on the line for me, man. What are your thoughts, 0-2? I asked the question at the beginning of this show, is it time to panic? I ask you, Zim WhoDey, is it time to panic?
No, it is not time to panic. If I'm Zach Taylor, if I'm the players and stuff, the urgency level is at a scale on a scale of 1 to 10. It's got to be like 9.5. You know what I mean? As a fan of the Bengals, I don't think it's panic time. I think the odds aren't in your favor, and I don't think that it's very likely that you could probably come out of this unscathed, you know what I mean? But to think that the season's over, I'm not there yet. But from a coaching standpoint, they should be in panic mode, hitting buttons that they didn't think that they were going to have to push by week 3.
All right, so when you sit there and watch, and I ask Casey and I ask Brandon, I'm asking you, when you're sitting there and you digest this whole game, and now you have, not 24 hours, but let's call it 18 hours to look back on the whole thing, what one or two things weigh most heavily on your mind after watching that game?
Just the lack of, what he was just saying. It's the lack of, people don't understand how crazy or how much more special our wide receivers are than 97% of the NFL. And the fact that they're not taking shots, literally, Joe Burrow had worse protection. I get it. That's the storyline. And I don't think that the protection is good this year. It's particularly on the outside. The inside, I think, is okay. But that's what he did last year. Where was everybody? He just would throw the ball down the field 50. He led the league in 11-plus touchdowns of 50 yards or more. He led the league in that, chucking it down the field. F it, Jamar's down there somewhere. That was a real thing. One-on-one situations. T. Higgins, Super Bowl. Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. Cover 2. It didn't matter. And that's how they won the games. You look, it could have been 0-2 last season. But in the Vikings game, what happened right before halftime? You just threw the ball into double coverage to Jamar Chase. He makes a guy miss or whatever. And then he, what I'm saying? All this craziness that happened last year that I think some people attributed to luck. I just thought they were really skilled and they're a lot better, but you got to give them the opportunities to go do it.
Well, look, we were just talking. What's been the reaction of most of the people that you are exchanging ideas and opinions on in the social media world? Those that are Bengals fans. I know you got some whack jobs out there, and every goal. We know that, okay? but I'm saying, what's the vibe? I mean, are they more upset with the coaching? Are they more upset with the offensive lineman? Are they most upset with the quarterback holding the ball too long? What's out there?
I think it's more coaching. The fire Zach guy coming fresh out the cave, and I'm not there yet because of just my personality. I know I'm not smarter than Zach Taylor. I know I don't know how to call plays in an NFL team, right? But I am smart enough to know that you aren't doing anything to confuse anybody on the opposite side of the field. I am smart enough to know that. But I'm also smart enough to know the people that are fire Zach, you don't really have a real legit plan. You're just frustrated that you lost. And when you lose, everything is magnified. But all these things were in our face last week. They weren't running the ball efficiently. There were a lot of different things that I feel like Joe last week was taking the ball and putting it in harm's way and pushing the ball down the field. And everybody said, well, all you got to do is take what the defense gives you. So then this week, he comes with a plan that says, well, I'm going to take more sacks if I have to. I'm not going to throw the ball in harm's way. And when I got to make the key throws, I'm going to make them. And he did that to tie a football game up. I glued in on how good or how much you want your team to win. To look on the opposite side of the field too. Credit Dan Quinn for coming up with a game plan that didn't make Joe Burrow feel comfortable. Credit Dan Quinn for moving Micah Parsons around and disrupting a football game. A lot of people say, well, why don't you and I was one of those guys, why don't you double team Micah Parsons every single play? Have y'all ever heard of this thing called illegal formation? So once you're set and then you run wide receivers in motion, like you can't just move blockers around and when you want to. And this Micah Parsons guy is going all over the field, and Joe Burrow wasn't feeling comfortable. I'm one of them guys that I blame a lot. I hated the coverage on special teams. I hated so many different parts of this game. And again, you still had a chance to win a football game. There was one big decision with Zach Taylor I didn't like, and that was the one where he didn't go for it, I think, on 4th and 6.
Yep.
But that's one of those things, though, too. He got the ball back, and you still tied the game up. Now, say you go for it on 4th and 6. It almost reminds me of the touchdown call where he didn't challenge last week. Maybe you get that touchdown call and then you go and win the game, but we'll never know. Maybe you go for it on 4th and 6 and then you come back again and score another touchdown. We'll never know. And I'm not really like a hindsight type of guy. So at the time, I was thinking like the offense is in bad rhythm. If you don't convert this 4th down, you're putting yourself in a bad spot for the Cowboys to just take the victory and probably win by like 10 points. That was my initial thought. So I'm not really that mad. If it were me, I would have gone for it. But I think to answer your question, I know that was long-winded. More people are like on Zach Taylor, and I think it's warranted.
Well, I got to tell you, of all the things, it starts with not being ready to play. I thought the Cowboys going for it in their own territory in the first quarter on a 4th down and 2. If that's not a statement being made by a head coach, and there are a lot of people that beat up Mike McCarthy, not only in Dallas but all across the country. Mike McCarthy won a lot of games in Green Bay, and I don't think that he has a ton of talent in Dallas. But clearly yesterday he had made the decision, backup quarterback, we're clearly an underdog in this game. The other team has a better roster. They got better talent. We're going to do whatever we have to do from an aggression standpoint to try and win the game. But I have to tell you, the thing that sent me off the reservation, the final 2 minutes of that game yesterday, you've got the best field goal kicker on the planet. You've got the ball where really all you have to do is get 35 or 40 yards to give him a last-second try at winning the game. It's already tied. You go first down. You go second down. Okay? And after the first down, you got the 2-minute warning. Second down, and you're letting the clock run. Afterwards, we hear this nonsense about the headset going out and weren't expecting pressure and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay?
Bullshit.
They lost basically 35 seconds, I think it was, by the time they snapped the ball because they huddled, okay, and the clock's tick, 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 tick. Clearly the headset thing you find out later. But the bottom line is there was nothing that struck me like they were trying to win the game by going down the field. And with this offense and with those weapons, allegedly, how are you not trying to win the game?
Let me ask you a question, though. I want to ask you a question. Don't you think that they were trying to make it so that the Cowboys didn't have that much time when they got the ball, whether they converted or not? They want to be they were attempting to be the last team with the ball, opposed to calling timeouts and then you're not successful and then you're giving the ball back to the Cowboys with like a minute 40.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Zim, at all on that. I get it. But look,
no, I'm asking a question.
No. I know what you're asking, and it's a fair question. It's a legitimate question, okay? There's no doubt about it. But here's the bottom line, okay, in my opinion, is that what is your mindset about your team and the confidence in your team? If you have Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, and Hurst is turning out to be a really nice pickup. You got Jamar Chase. You got Joe Burrow. I've got the ball. It's a 3rd down and 3 coming up, okay? I'm saying to myself, if we got to punt it, we got to punt it. That's the way it goes. But, man, I'm going down fighting. And they run a 1-yard, 2-yard out on a 3rd and 3. Now you got to punt it, right? Okay, so, I mean, what's the difference? It's either playing to win or it looked like you were playing not to lose, meaning the punt to the Cowboys. Don't give them a chance to get it back. You ended up having to punt anyway. They got it back and they won a game, right?
Yep. I agree. I think, Joe and a lot of people say, man, just get the ball out real quick, and you watch plays like Hayden Hurst. I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate, and I don't want to because I'm not like championing Zach Taylor right now. I hated that play call. But I think that there was a rule of thought where I was thinking like, oh, God, here comes another third down. Get the ball out quick. I watched Hayden Hurst go fight, get those extra yards on one of my favorite plays, I guess, in the game, or I watched them do a different thing. I think that they were very afraid that they weren't going to be able to block Micah Parsons. So he switched to like this route that I would have never thrown like right in front of the chain. I'm more upset with like first and second down, I think.
Yeah.
Than the third down, because I think the third down was like, if you get into a drop back situation with this dude, he's going to wreck. Like, and I was very afraid of that, like a fumble or something like that. And I'm normally not even afraid of that. I'm just like, oh, it's Joe time. But I just didn't feel comfortable, and I could tell they didn't feel comfortable. They were like, let's get the ball out really quick. And I think they thought they had a good play where Boyd could just run for the first. But I hate those type of clutch moments.
All right, last thing I have for you, Zim. Now the New York Jets. I mean, I thought this was a huge game, a Dallas game, to right the ship, 1-1. Brought up earlier, you've lost now to Mitchell Trubisky and to Cooper Rush. My good friend Vach down in Dallas said, no, we lost to Micah Parkins and the rest of that crew. Fair.
Yes.
But now all of a sudden,
Micah Parsons was
but now all of a sudden the Jets, I mean, and their old nemesis, at least during a decent-sized run, Joe Flacco looked pretty decent yesterday against Cleveland. This is not a layup all of a sudden, right?
Nope. And I'm going to tell you, I think the defensive front for the Jets is like a top 7, top 8 defensive front in football. Go ask the Ravens about that front week 1. Like like our good old buddy Carl Lawson and those guys. You know what I'm saying? So we're watching games where we're literally losing up front, and then you're showing me a defensive front like that. I'm a little nervous, bro. Like, I think that we're the more talented team, but based off of what I've seen, I feel like this is another game where it's going to be so close, and it shouldn't be close at all. I don't really, I haven't dived into it, enough, but I do know that their defensive front is no joke.
All right, Zim, thank you for your time, my man. You always got my back. I got your back, brother. You take care of yourself,
Appreciate
all right?
You, Tom.
Best to your wife and
it's
your
rough.
son.
Thank you.
Is that your only child?
It's rough out here.
Your son?
Yeah, that's my only.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, okay.
Well, little Uzi.
Tell little Uzi we said hey, all right?
All right, I appreciate you, Tom. It's rough out here in this Twitter world, man. You be careful out there.
I'm staying away from it. I brought up with these guys earlier, a couple things that all of a sudden pop up, and I'm not very comfortable with it, being a married man, that kind of thing, and I'm not quite sure what the hell's going on out there.
It's rough.
Yeah,
it is.
You want to tell them what it was?
All right, no, I'm not. Zim, have a great day, buddy. I'll catch up with you later in the week. My man, Zim WhoDey. He has more people watch these clips of him that we have him on than anybody we have on. He's the man.
Man.
He's the man. I love it. Loves him.